Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 546, recorded on September 25th, 2025. On this week's episode, we talk about Bowser being defeated, Nintendo customer service being something
defeated,
and some new music tracks on the Nintendo Music app. Jesse, you know what to do. I should have said breaking news about Dragon Drive getting a free update, because that's really important.
It is for the 4 people still playing it. Hey, welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 4. There's numbers in there. 546.
Just episode 4. Just
episode 4. We're starting over. The numbering is changing. 546.
It's September 25th, numbers.
And obviously we're not prepared tonight. But hey, when are we ever? Joining me on the show this week is everybody. So say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
You fell for it. You took the bait. I'm
knew
proud
that was
of
gonna.
you.
Like, how did you not?
I'm
know
proud
that
of you.
Was gonna happen.
Yeah, Justin, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, sure. Back to the basement recording wall today. But yeah, doing all right. Lots of interesting Nintendo news for the last couple of days coming out. And so excited just to be here and hang out with y'all and take a bit of a break from gaming, take a break from a bit of Hades too, which we're going to talk a little bit about. Some Silksong, been playing a ton of that. But just living best life.
Awesome.
How are you doing, Marty?
I'm doing great. It's been a weird week. I don't know. I got out of my routine and stuff was all willy-nilly, but it's better now. I'm here.
Get to hang out. As long as willy-nilly and not nilly-willy.
It was as my weather app reminded me today, it was flapdoodle, which is apparently an old word for bullcrap. What a bunch of flapdoodle.
I think
flapdoodle.
We need to try and bring that back.
Yeah,
I love it.
Bring that back for sure.
I love it. Flapdoodle. Yeah. So what in the flapdoodle's going on, Tim?
Nothing much. Just a very long.
Feel better this week, obviously.
I feel a lot better than I did last week, but it's been a long week for work. Lots of, project management stuff that and Scrum Master stuff that just is just like takes a lot out of your brain cells.
Mm-hmm.
But now
then he has to come here and manage us.
And then now I'm here talking about games and Hades 2 and the fact that I didn't play Hades 1 but still playing Hades 2.
Yeah,
so.
You're fine.
Cool.
What's going on, Jesse?
I am trying to stay awake. I've had day-long meetings the last few days.
Coffee.
I don't like that. I don't
okay.
do well.
Notice he didn't say I don't like that.
It's just like moves on.
I haven't gotten that far yet. So I don't do well with these long meetings, and so I'm exhausted. We moved more furniture to the new place, so all the dust we've been kicking up has been causing allergies. So this morning I wasn't feeling well at all. I'm feeling a little bit better today or this evening.
Well, you can get your caffeine from a Trolley Mountain Dew that tastes like gummy worms.
Trolley Mountain Dew.
Those are so good.
Justin, pity you can't, get to the U.S. and get this. And this one is guaranteed. I mean, I was going to say it's guaranteed, but it says it won't cause diabetes because it's zero sugar. But who knows?
You know what I did have though recently. You guys all have Slurpees. Y'all don't have like a big Slurpee culture or slushies in the U.S.
Yes, we do.
Right? But
in some places, bigger cities.
Okay, but like here, if you go into a 7-Eleven, like it is like there are 8 taps. You know what I mean? And it is all the time. Is that all? Get out of here, you.
We have a machine. We have one that has 12.
Well,
okay.
In my area, no one really cares about it until July 11th when they can get one for free.
Oh yeah, you see the great White North here. We're drinking Slurpees all year round. Sure, would you not now? And I had a pomegranate dragon fruit Mountain Dew Slurpee. And I'm going to tell you, it wasn't pomegranate, it was dragon fruit. Dragon fruit lemonade Mountain Dew Slurpee. And it's delicious.
Yeah, we've got a dragon fruit Mountain Dew right now in a bottle.
The first time that I went, this doesn't taste like death. This is okay.
Okay.
Right. And again, we are truly not sponsored by Mountain Dew. So if you ever question that, my statement of it tastes like death. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tastes like diabetes.
Tastes like diabetes and high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Speaking of diabetes and high blood pressure and all kinds of other fun things, it's time to talk about the news.
Do it.
And our news is brought to us each and every week by you guys over at patreon.com/NintendoDads, where for as little as $1 a month, you get to join up with the greatest community of all time, get an ad-free feed of the show, get access to Discord and all kinds of other challenges through Monthly Mayhem and stuff over there. There's literally a wealth of a wonderful community at your fingertips when you join up over at patreon.com/NintendoDads. You become a friend of the show. It takes your devotion to the next level. It helps people find us, and it funds all of the shenanigans that happen over here at Nintendo Dads HQ. So if you're not already
cocaine addiction too.
Yeah, his burgeoning cocaine addiction. And so
and for the sake of like shenanigansness and like how does it help, we've got Extra Life coming up here in just mere 6 weeks away, and we've got some fantastic giveaways. And so some of that amazing Patreon funding helps us to be able to do that, helps us to be able to ship some of these gifts that we've got, some of these giveaways all over the world. And so we greatly appreciate all your support over on patreon.com/NintendoDads.
Yep. So go over there and join up. And if you join up at the year level, you get a month free because we love you. That's fine. All right. So let's talk news. Big breaking news that came out this afternoon. I feel like this is the number one thing that we need to talk about tonight is that it was announced that Doug Bowser, current president of Nintendo America, is retiring and will step down effective December 31st, 2025. A successor has already been named in one Devin Pritchard, who is the she has served as acting executive since November 2021, previously holding the role of executive vice president of business affairs and publisher relations. And she has been credited in special thanks in 3 games: Metroid Prime Remastered, Punch-Out, and Disney Illusion Island. She's worked for Nintendo since 2006 and been also as a board member of Boys and Girls Club. And ironically, or not ironically, I think it's historically actually, will be the first female president of Nintendo effective January 1, 2026. Boys, let's talk about this. How are we feeling?
That's a great question. How do we feel? I feel sort of indifferent to it. I would say the following, so first I'd say this: congratulations, Devin. That's an amazing, such like awesome. Congratulations, Doug Bowser, on your retirement. Like, that's amazing. Like, let's just start off with the surface level things. Awesome and tremendous, right? I think it's interesting, like this transition. So just for reference point for those, and I had to do some quick research on this. Doug Bowser came into I don't want to say power, that's not right. Came into his role in April of 2019. I want to think it may have actually been April 1st or April 15th, one of those two. April 1st feels like it's probably the right one. So interestingly enough, like not a long sitting president in relation to like Reggie Fils-Aimé, who had been there really quite a fair bit before. I think from a Nintendo fan perspective, the challenge that Doug faced coming in as president following someone like Reggie is Reggie was a brand. Reggie was a personality. He is, the Phil Spencer standing out there, being the face of Nintendo of America, really presenting and really building a relationship with the with the players. And it's interesting, like we're talking about Doug's retirement, but I'm referencing Reggie because the reason I'm referencing that is I don't feel like we have the same level of relationship with Doug that we did with Reggie from a Nintendo user experience. Not to say that Doug wasn't a really good business partner or a good, president or knew what was going on. If you saw him at the New York launches for all the big games, he was there, but he wasn't the personality that Reggie was. And I'm not saying that you have to be a personality to be a president, but I think in relation to like this, like when he was like, your question of like, well, what do you think? Yeah, great for him. Right. Where before it was like Reggie's going away. You're like, oh man, like that's huge. Right. Like we have a relationship. I know Reggie's brand, his championing of Nintendo, where he came from, like his story. Doug's is just kind of like, yeah, your last name is the same as the villain of the game. That's cute. Right. And you speak really well on all the MSNBC conversations about the launches and you've battled some of these, weathered some of the stores on Nintendo Switch too. But like, that's sort of it, right? And so as I think of like Devin coming on, I don't know Devin from Sam, but like that's great. Like congratulations. I think great for a female president to finally step in that space as well. Yeah, like that's sort of how I feel about it. I know there's a lot in the internet air about it right now, but like the thing that does sort of strike me as interesting, and I will just put it out an observation. The transition is occurring on January 1st. I would have thought like you would have gone to the end of the fiscal quarter or the fiscal year and done the transition then. Just an interesting observation. It's a quarterly transition as opposed to a fiscal transition, or sorry, a fiscal year transition. I guess you can just say like starting fresh January 1st, 2026 is Devin. I don't know. I thought that was sort of interesting. But congratulations to Doug, and I know, I'll just put out there, Doug, January for I think our episode goes live on January 4th, I believe, but you're welcome to be our guest. Now that you are no longer abided by
plenty of time.
Nintendo police or the ninjas, come on, pull up a stump and let's chat into video games.
So here's a couple of thoughts that I had on this is you said something, Justin, that was like, it was very insightful.
Ooh, I like
that comparing Doug Bowser to Reggie, and it's almost like to draw a parallel. It's trying to compare Tim Cook to Steve Jobs.
Yeah, it's unfair.
It is because Reggie and Steve both had that on-stage showmanship.
Yeah,
that their followers, like the following presidents or CEOs, did not have. Yeah. They're good workers. They're solid. Tim Cook has made, a pretty solid transition with Apple. He's held the boat steady. And I would say that about Doug Bowser. He's held the boat at Nintendo steady since becoming president. I mean, it is not lost on me that he walked into that whole situation, 8 months before COVID hit. And had to deal with a pretty unprecedented business situation, right? And so to come through
that's a really good point.
Well, Cook doesn't give out the details like Jobs did, but he delegates that to his other SVPs. He still bookends the presentations, the top and the bottom.
Yeah. But we've never seen Doug Bowser on a presentation.
Right. I kind of wish. I would, and I'm not saying he has to be a Reggie, but I'm saying I wish he did put a little bit more face out.
Yeah, I'm gonna challenge this panel with a question or a thought, and this is not to like what is Doug Bowser's mark on Nintendo of America?
Well, and
I know you
out there and say this. That's actually a question we got asked.
Oh, did we? Oh, I didn't see it.
Koopa Kid 80 asked, wondering what each of the Nintendo dads' opinion of what Doug Bowser's biggest contribution to Nintendo and how he will be remembered. Will we see a more front-facing or reserved head of NOA in the coming years? And here's what I was going to say to that to answer your question, Justin, is I think that we had a more personal connection. I'm saying we, like the collective we,
Yeah.
Nintendo fans, gamers in general, had a more personal connection to Reggie.
Yes.
Because of all of the shenanigans that they had to get up to in the Wii U era. Because there wasn't much to talk about. And so that's how you get Bill Trenton gorging on donuts because of Yokai and Galaxy Edition 3DS. And hey, I've got to go now and play Animal Crossing on my new Nintendo 3DS. You know, like he was a salesman up front.
Yeah.
Right. And so there was that because they had to feature their presence so much.
Yeah.
Iwata, all of them, we remember them fondly because they had to be on screen. Because what are they going to show? Devil's Third?
Right.
You know, I mean, like a whole direct for that? No.
Yeah, and that's such a really great kind of like commentary that you brought into that. And I totally forgot about COVID, Marty, which is a blessing all into itself. But like when Doug came on, we're year 2 into the Switch, right? 2019. So it is cooking well. Do you know what I mean? Like he is not really having to struggle with trying to get the console going. It is now at that point we're a fully functional Death Star, right? So he can kind of and a lot of the course would have been set earlier, right? He's kind of taking over. But you are right, like navigating the waters of COVID is a great example. And then I think obviously in recently the navigating the fluctuating prices in relation to the Nintendo Switch 2 and the tariffs occurring in the US, right? Like there's definitely some combat that had to occur there in relation to navigating those waters. And then the trend and then I think the other part I would kind of think of is like the successful transition from the Nintendo Switch to the Nintendo Switch 2, right? We all talked about like you cannot miss that step. And has Nintendo fully actually landed that step? I don't know, right? We're 4 months into this new console or 3 months in this new console cycle. We can have that debate at the end of the year of have they stepped well, and really we probably won't really know the full outcome of it until 3 or 4 years from now. But as you sort of think of like what is the influence that he's had, and maybe it's the expansion into, and I apologize for the yawn there. Maybe it's the expansion into like places like Universal Studios. Maybe it's the expansion into like the movie space. Maybe it's the expansion of the IP beyond just the video game screen, but into like more understanding, more visibility in the marketplace. Like I think San Francisco had their New York store.
Most of those items, I don't know how much Bowser had
influence.
I don't know. That's more Miyamoto.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, but I think if Nintendo of America doesn't have a strong brand, it doesn't get welcomed into Universal Studios in California or Florida. Right. I think, you look at the celebration of the casting, a lot of it being American casting, right? Like I think that there is a very, so
I can see that, but it's still, and that's probably part of the problem is we don't see where that line's drawn. If we did, this conversation will be a completely different conversation.
Yeah, 100%. Right. And so in some ways, like, a really good president, like he's like we don't see the work that occurs behind the scenes, right? We don't see the coaching, the developing, the keeping the hand on the ship, so to say, to keep it straight, weathering certain parts of economic turbulences. And also the other part of it I would say is I don't know his age, but just to a point he may be like, I'm done, right? Like I don't need to do this anymore. I'm happy to retire. Right. And life circumstances can change where you're happy to be like, hey, I'm out. Right. And so, yeah, I think best of luck to him. It does feel like he just started and is just sort of leaving now at the same time. Right. Very short turnaround. But again, it's almost 6. Okay. It's almost 6 years. Right. That he's been in that position.
Yeah. I would point out too, that I don't think it said that he was retiring, period. I think it said he was retiring from Nintendo.
Correct.
And so, I mean, that's a nicer, cushier word than saying resigning or leaving the company. it's their wording. They're the ones who put out the press release. It's very interesting to me that there was a gap between Reggie and Doug Bowser.
Was there?
I believe so. I'm saying, and what I mean by that is this: when Reggie said, "I'm leaving, I'm retiring, like I'm done," they didn't announce Doug Bowser in the same press release. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So it's interesting to me that we have a press release of Doug Bowser retiring, but Devin Pritchard is stepping right in. And not only that, but Satoru Shibata, who has been a longtime Nintendo employee in Japan, will now be the CEO of Nintendo of America.
Yes.
And that's good. I mean, like Shibata has been there for a while, has done, has kind of done a lot of good with Nintendo of Japan. And so here's the deal. Like, if I'm pressed to say, what is his contribution? I can't answer that because he was so quiet and stable behind the scenes. I think none of us will really know that until years from now, when like the stories from employees start coming out on podcasts.
Yeah.
And be like, and Doug Bowser did this, or Doug Bowser did this, or he was like, we're going to find out like, oh, he pulled practical jokes all the time, or he did this, or
I would be very interested, and this is sort of now telling our audience to go somewhere else. I'd be very interested in knowing what Kit and Krista's perspective is on this.
100%.
They just dropped a video.
They just dropped their video.
Doug Bowser. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I didn't even notice that they were splitting the president and the CEO to two separate roles.
I noticed that a couple hours ago. Yeah, I saw that, interestingly enough. So,
literally, it clicked while we were having this conversation.
Yeah. I think going back to the earlier statement there, Marty, like, I think congratulations to Devin. Sounds like, again, and the thing I do sort of like about it is that what we are seeing is internal mobility and succession planning and internal pipelining for folks who have spent time at Nintendo of America to be brought through in that development cycle. So that to me would indicate, and I will literally be putting on my HR hat here, that to me is an indicator that your succession planning and talent management cycle is really effective, and that you're likely your talent development program or your people development programs are being effective enough that you're able to draw from internal talent into those positions, as opposed to having to externally hire and bring somebody in. So I think that's a great sign as well. And it looks like, similar to Doug as well, it looks like Devin had spent a fair bit of time in different roles within the organization to create a different kind of exposure to the whole process, and maybe really, and that's a really good thing from talent management perspective as well. So
100%. Yeah. When you know the inner workings of several parts of it, you can keep those parts happy. And use that as a buoy for parts where maybe you're not as strong. Right. And so knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and I think it's great. Like, if you look back, Reggie came into Nintendo from outside, right? I mean, he was not in the video game world. But I think it's a win here that you get two people who have been involved in the company for so long. They know the DNA, right? They know the processes. And so it ensures a smooth transition rather than missteps at the very beginning. But it will be interesting to see what kind, like, not knowing Devin, like what's her style be like. Yep.
Yeah, what's her leadership style? Is she likely to get in front of the camera? Will we see her at all in front of the camera? Will she, like, obviously she will for like an MNBC interviews and CNN and like the very public, but are we going to see her on a direct? Are we going to see her
as vice president of business affairs? You kind of expect that she's been involved in the numbers and the back end and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not going to be as forward facing as, I will say this. I think that the days of a forward facing face for Nintendo of America are over, because they have the directs and they can use Koizumi and the disembodied voice for that. Like, just notice that the entire time that that Doug Bowser was president of Nintendo, you didn't see Bill Trennan on camera at all.
No, Bill's gone. Bill's relegated somewhere to a basement suite somewhere else doing something else.
That's like the change was big in this generation, and I think that they're probably going to get somebody who's just going to continue that, because I mean they already have that proven method for how they're going to communicate to people. Even even when Treehouse or Indie World, you just don't even see anybody anymore. It's just, hey, we're voices talking over the games.
I think Phil Spencer is like the last great CEO bastion that stands out there. And ultimately, I think when Phil retires, which we're sort of already hearing rumors about that and currently as well, I think when he retires, like that will be the last. One you see in relation to that.
Why do you want his job? You go on stage, you announce something, and you immediately get crucified about all the other things you didn't announce. I mean, it's a thankless job in a lot of ways.
Maybe actually, I take that back. Maybe like Sarah Bond is out there pretty well. So is Matt Booney or Matt Booty. So that's sort of the culture they've created. But like no one was pipelining like that when Reggie was in space, right? No, like he was his own thing. So
so it'll remain to be seen. I just really think that what they should do is when he walks out the door of Nintendo for the last time, they should just have speakers installed on the outside of the building and play the sound clip from Super Mario 64. So long, get Bowser.
Goodbye. Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, let's talk some other Nintendo disappointments. That really wasn't. It's not a disappointment, but some other what could be not good news. Nintendo has announced it's been announced that Nintendo will begin outsourcing its customer support services, and I think this is a huge misstep for them. This results in job losses for numerous contractors, worries about the quality of customer service, and the affected employees are reporting that they're having to train their replacements.
That's fun. That's not I know that this is a shit statement. That's not uncommon. Sorry, Jesse.
Justin, I get it, and I don't see that because I'm not from that, like the business perspective. I'm glad that you bring that, but
Justin and I, and probably Tim a little bit as well, are more familiar with that type of in the business, and whenever
nobody should have to do that.
Whenever they talk about stories about the contractors, I'm like, this is not going to sound well, even though they're doing what every business would do.
So
my business would do it if in the same. So it's
I've seen it hard too many times.
It's hard to speak either way on it in the position.
And I've seen it too many times too, where they go back and forth too, because of like, oh, we're gonna save $1, and then they get too many complaints about the outsourcing quality, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna bring back and do this, and then there's a while they do that, and then they go back to outsourcing. So it's like stupid.
So there's a lot of contractors, or several contractors who have come out and said, about how betrayed they feel. Of course, there's concerns about future employment prospects. And Nintendo did respond to this, stating that the claims contained inaccurate information, but in typical Nintendo fashion, they did not specify which information was inaccurate, just that some information was inaccurate. So,
Yeah. And again, that's not necessarily a Nintendo only thing either. That's
so like first, this sucks, right, for people who are being affected by this. There's no nice way about that. And I think it's unfortunate too, because as I was talking about a couple moments ago about that idea of like internal succession, right? Talent pipelining. Ideally, like any individual who's a contract employee, ultimately, for the most part, wants a full contract, right? And so when you are taking away those opportunities in that talent pipeline, now you're challenged. Right. And so to me, that may also indicate like a not in a growth mindset in regards to development locally. Right. Because your pipeline is now sort of dissipating for some of that. I would agree. Like, it just sucks, that stuff. But
a lot of times when management, up level executives or whatever, they get to a point to where like, oh, we've got everything documented. So it doesn't matter who's doing it. it'll get done the same way, but there's still a level of it that's missing that they're not seeing. And
yeah, I mean, the only way that this statement could have got worse was we replaced it with AI. Right? That would have been
in the article, it did state something about AI as well being part of it.
All right. Well, I didn't read the article.
Well,
but
there you go.
Yeah,
so no real details on this about when this will actually go into effect, but it sounds like it's going to be soon. It almost sounds like a end of the year thing,
January 1st.
And here's why. I really don't think that they want the debut of these new customer support service specialists to be during
Christmas
the holidays when everyone is getting new Nintendo Switches and Nintendo Switch 2s.
No, and I would say, like, I have personal experience where you are transitioning knowledge and service from one part of an organization over to the other. Typically, in something like this that occurs, it is a multi-year strategy to be able to successfully make that transition. It is not like a effective first, everyone's done, and this is live. Because to Tim's point, it does take upskilling quality. It does take a lot of it's usually if you're using 2 locations, right? It's like 100% onshore, 0% offshore, 75-25, 50-50, 25-75, and then you inevitably sort of trickle that down. And that's a multi-year strategy because of knowledge transfer, because of infrastructure, because of so many pieces of skill development that you need to have that occur there. So I do not believe that effective January 1st, like, the lights are just off, right? That would be that, like, I would say this. That would be my thought as a person who has gone through stuff like that. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I don't know what they've been doing, right? Or for all we know, that services may already have been up and running for the last 3 years. And now what they're doing is, now that it's already fully established, now we're beginning to phase out our onshore support.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I heard this, I assumed, no idea if it's how accurate it is, that this is like another response to tariffs. We're trying to increase revenue where we can here and there, and now we need to cut costs where we can here and there.
Well, they're already charging me $100 for a Virtual Boy thing, so they're making some money.
They got to be.
They're charging me $100. They're probably charging you a hell of a lot more.
Oh yeah, mine's about 100. Mine's about 140. Thank you, Canadian exchange rate.
Guys, not to beat a dead horse, but I did want to say that just was hopping on X just a second ago to look for something, and there are tons of people within the industry who are talking about how incredible Devin Pritchard is. I saw a tweet from Kit. I saw a tweet from Reggie talking about how Nintendo is going to be in great hands. Jeff Keighley and others talking about how this is an incredible move for Nintendo. And so, not that, we doubt their choice, of course, not knowing her, but just hearing some of that is a little reassuring. I mean, this is like lots of people talking about it, lots of people happy. Not that Doug's leaving, but that it's her.
Yeah.
Like you're like the resounding.
That helps. That kind of
it's a resounding yes. It's a resounding. She's going to knock it out of the park. So
well, and decisions when you get to a president level, like, it's not like you're like looking down the hallway being like, who should we choose? Right? Like, it is a long-term development succession planning that goes into that. Like, that's not a decision you make on a whim. Right? There's pipelining, there's money that's been invested, there's education's been invested, experiential learning, like, so much of those things that when that decision finally comes, like, nobody should be shocked. Do you know what I mean? Like, when they announce, like, no one's like, oh, that's crazy. It wasn't Mark from accounting, right? Like, it's like, oh yeah, okay, yep, Devin makes total sense. And they would have seen her probably showing up internally in town halls and all that kind of stuff. So that when that transition occurs from an employee basis level, it's not a surprise, right? It's oh, okay, yeah, it totally makes sense.
I was surprised they didn't say Justin Masson, so
yeah, I was disappointed that they didn't call me directly. Yeah, I was a little bit shocked by that, for sure.
But it'll be next time. It'll be next time, obviously.
Fingers crossed.
So let's hit a few more little news items here, just some things we want to circle around to. Nintendo Music app has been updated over the last week with brand new tracks from Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Woot woot.
There's several of the Bonanza
Okay.
themes in there, as well as the remix of the old school Donkey Kong Country track in there. This week, Zelda 2 tracks also dropped along with the Famicom edition, which
That makes me
is
so
the
happy.
Famicom disc system tracks. And basically what that is, if you haven't heard those, is that either the Famicom or the Famicom disc system enabled more music
Yeah, the disc
tracks,
system
more music.
the disc system added an additional channel.
Yeah, so the different sound channel with kind of a different remix, not totally, but you'll notice there's a little bit of difference in there if you'll listen to them side by side. So if you love those that music there, it's there. You can head out and do that. They also added, I got a notification right before I came on the show that said, "Hey, a new playlist called Autumn has been adding a
Sweet.
curated playlist of autumn inspired tracks." So I just really expect it to be like every Animal Crossing autumn track ever.
Right?
And if there's no Castlevania music on there, then what are we doing? Or
Ooh, and
Luigi's
some
Mansion.
spooky music from Luigi's Mansion.
Man, like I would love them to get, and I know probably they can't, but
I'm
like
curious.
I would
I'm
love
gonna
them
look
to
to see
get
what's
like
on this list.
third party titles on there as well, so
Yeah.
they could have some good spooky music during this time.
Did
Um,
did we ever get Luigi's Mansion 1 for the Switch?
nope.
But we got
It's on
2, right?
3DS. But here's why we didn't get it on Switch. They remade Luigi's Mansion for 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
So
But we got Luigi's Mansion 2, The Dark Moon, but we never got.
yeah, we got Dark Moon
Wonder
HD.
that's coming to GameCube, the online.
Oh, it has to.
Yeah, we've been saying that about Metroid Prime as well.
Right, sure,
Metroid
yeah.
Prime 2 forever and Smash.
Here's
So
what's
has
gonna
to.
happen. They're gonna save that for Luigi's Mansion 4 as a hype thing.
I'm
Go
so
back to
excited.
where it started.
Yeah, the very beginning.
Anyway. Here's a couple of other news little items. Former Blizzard president Mike Ybarra claims console prices today are not tariff issues, but profit issues. He says tariffs went up once, but prices have raised several times. And he says, quote, raising prices again is simply a different problem, and they are going to make consumers continue to pay for those problems. So I thought, let's think about this. What is he referring to? What is the other problem?
Well, I think in this case, and again, this is from Blizzard, right? And this,
Yep.
I would say this is directly correlated to Xbox's recent conversation about their prices that increased. And I would say what they are referring to is the fact that the other problem is that not enough people are subscribing to Game Pass to meet the numbers that they require to keep studios open and operating. And so they have to become lean in their decisions. Thus, you end up seeing cuts and budget constraints and teams getting destroyed because not enough people are purchasing Game Pass or subscribing to Game Pass enough to be able to make it worth it. So they're trying to recoup the costs and raising the console prices. The floor will now recognize the voice of Mr. Marty Estes.
Can I say this is where, can we just, if we had a button that said Marty is right, Marty is right, Marty is right, that would be where you would push it, because I've said for a while, Game Pass is doing negative things to the video game industry because people aren't buying games. They're saying, let's wait and play them on Game Pass. And so there's a cyclical problem here of if you wait to play it on Game Pass, then people will make games that aren't complete because they got to earn money somehow. So that has to be DLC. And so now we're not earning money on the games, we're earning money on the DLC. So there's not as much effort going into the games. And so people don't want to pay for them. They want to wait to play them on Game Pass. So it just creates its own problem. And here's the thing. People don't like to hear me say that because Game Pass is great when you're not a developer.
Game Pass is the best deal in gaming for gamers.
Yep.
There's no doubt about that. I don't think anyone else has a better subscription model. But I do agree with you, Marty. I don't think it's a great I don't think it works out as great for the developers as we may potentially want.
I think
And
people will look back on it years from now and go, that did irreparable damage. Because like let me just give you an example. All right. Metroid Dread, right? Fantastic game. Absolutely one of the best games out on Switch. Sold 3 million. It launched at $59.99. And people threw an absolute duck fit about it. It's not a $60 game, blah, blah, blah. Why did they say that? Because they can play games, and they would say, I can play games like that on Game Pass. And so you devalue the vision of the developer, you devalue the work that's put into the game, which it was a phenomenal game. But there were people who absolutely skipped that game, not on principle, because it's like, it's $60. I'm not paying that. I'll pirate it, or I'll just not play it. And I call that the Game Pass effect. I mean, a brand new AAA game launching on Game Pass day and date when people can go out and have to buy it for $65 is not a great business model.
Okay, so I would say yes and no to that, Marty. So I would say I don't disagree with you that I think Game Passes is a problem for developers, or can be. I think the situation that you also find yourself in that you need to take in consideration is during this time of Game Pass, the increase in free-to-play gaming holistically, right? Which that also then causes a devalue of like full price $60 games, right? And the microtransaction battle pass economy based on that. I also think you then look at stuff like, the games from app stores, right, that are 99 cents. That's lower costing for games as well. I think there's a multitude of factors that ends up having an individual low cost. Interestingly enough, Team Cherry is receiving a ton of heat for the fact that they offered Hollow Knight Silksong for $20. Because now users are expecting 70 or 50-hour games like Silksong for 20 USD. And that worked for Team Cherry. That was their vision for how they wanted to go to market on it. But that can definitely be a kick in the pants for all these other developers who are like, no, we're pricing this thing at 35 or 40 or whatever it is. And so there's a various degrees of factors.
Let's do recency bias. You've been playing it.
Yep.
Hades 2 launched today.
Yep.
$24.99 or right?
25 in the 25 Canadian,
bucks.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
$25 to $30. How much content and how many hours of play do you think are in that game? If people
I have listened
really
to reviews.
Play it.
I have listened to reviews on it, and Andy Cortez from Kinda Funny has put over 110 hours in it before it went to the 1.0 versioning of it.
Wow.
And meaning that game wasn't yet complete.
That game wasn't complete. He's put over 100 hours.
There's more content now than when he put 110 hours.
Correct.
Yeah. So in what you've played, do you feel like the price is justified?
Yeah, 100%. I am. Here's the reality of it. I'm very rarely a person who has a problem with the price of game. Like the whole conversation around like monetary value of a game versus time, I find just irreparably painful. And the reason B is because what I value for time and what you value for time for a cost analysis are completely different. I think going to a movie can be a complete waste of time and money, right? Because it's like I get 2 hours of entertainment for $20. That's $10 an hour. Like, does that logically make sense to me? No.
And I think that where I'm going with this is that the conversation around gaming has unhelpfully changed to be money versus time,
correct,
frames per second, and all kinds of other stuff, while ignoring like, is it fun? Did you enjoy yourself? And so it's all about the variables. It's all about the little click boxes and check boxes. And I think that's where we've also kind of gotten ourselves in a pickle with this too. Tim, what you want to add to this? You raise your hand.
Yeah, it was I think there's the root cause of it that just happens to be aligns with the timing of Game Pass as well, which is, and we've seen the fallout from this is with the cost of development for AAA games is an exorbitant amount. and where we see Team Cherry saying, hey, this is how much we spent putting into this game. We're able to charge $20 for the game versus some bigger company making games that cost more money. Nintendo, being a bigger company, although we don't know the cost they put into games, probably wasn't as much in Dread either, where 3 million, 4 million sales is good for them, especially for a Metroid game. But it's $60 because they value their property. So at the same time, though, it's again AAA developer who is out for more of the profit side as well. So all those factors come into play, and where Game Pass is not making that profit for them, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would definitely agree with that, Tim. But I also want to go back to like Marty, your statement that I do want to actually agree with, which is like the conversation. Like I hate the like, oh, this isn't worth $60. Again, I find that such a stupid conversation or argument made because everyone's value is different. But I think the question that you asked, which is really critical, is like, do you enjoy it? Is it fun? Here's the thing. I'm playing Star Wars Outlaws, and someone be like, "You kidding me? That's a year-old game. Are you stupid? Right? Like, and you're paying how much? You're playing the Switch 2 tax, blah, 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 like all that BS." Here's what really matters. I'm having fun playing the game and I enjoy it. And that's all that really matters to me in relation to it. I don't really care your opinion. If I wanted your opinion, I would have asked for it, but I sure didn't. And how I choose to spend my money on what games is none of your damn business. So jog on, you internet trolls. I dislike you very much. Right? And that's the reality. But we shame people like this game can't be. Like we watched the Metroid Dread 4 trilogy or trailer, and now it's motorcycles, and everyone's like, did you see how empty the desert was? Oh my gosh, this game cannot be worth $70. I can't believe they're charging blah 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 blah. Like, shut up. If you want to buy it. If you don't shame people.
That's kind of what I was meaning by who wants to take on the role of being the upfront CEO, because like you walk out and you show that, and it could be the most incredible trailer. Like I saw the Wolverine trailer that was shown off this week from PlayStation, and it's awesome. But like as soon as it hit, the criticism started. It's like, how do you pull off that combo? X X X X X X X X. You know, like, and it's like, shut up. It's like, is it fun? Do you want it? Like, can you? Like my criterion for video gaming in 2025 is, does it help me escape the nightmarish political hellscape that we live in for a couple of hours? Does it help me like shut everything out and like have some time to myself? Okay, great. I will power wash the fountain 400 billion times in order for that to happen. I don't care. And like it's the old like crudely drawn like image that we've all seen, where like people are playing the video games, looking at the TV, and this guy's yelling at them, don't you know that doesn't have this and this and this and this? And then he yells, stop having fun.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of where we're at. I do want to say prices for the Xbox Ally just dropped earlier. And y'all, the Ally itself is $599 and the Ally X is $999.
Is nobody at Xbox like having a real honest conversation with like the team that's creating this stuff and being like, y'all, like that's not like you don't have a strong enough brand, you don't have a strong enough product that you can legitimately say people are going to go purchase that. Some people are 100%, but I don't think it's going to get the market share that you really, really hope it's going to. Tim, I see you've got something.
We got to remember that that is not just going to play Xbox stuff too.
Sure,
it is meant to be able to play other things, even though it's branded Xbox. They have gone out and said that we want this device to be the home for your games. So that means being able to also go to Steam, also go into Epic. You know, so it's not just Xbox playing that there.
Well, I will say this: it can be the home for all your games except Nintendo games.
Except for
And
Nintendo
the only
games.
way that you can get those there is to sail the seas, and that's not good. Uh, so anyway, let's move on. A couple of little things here at the end. Dragon Drive is getting a free update announced today, adding an 8-player local multiplayer mode. Which why did this
Drop
not
all your
ship with
games.
the game? Why
Go
was
play this
local
one.
multiplayer not in it from the beginning?
Yeah, so for
Oh, it
This
had
makes-
local.
makes-
It had local multiplayer, just not 8-player local.
Just think about this, though, guys. Think about this. To play 8-player local multiplayer mode, that's $800.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Yeah,
$800.
and the worst part is you need pants.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were talking about that.
and
'Cause
non.
I can't do that
like
on my
non. It
chair
can be
with
wrinkly.
shorts on.
Yeah,
Gotta-
you'll tear the
gotta-
hairs out if you
Got to play Dragon
burn
Drive
marks
with
on your
pants on.
legs. Anyway, it's coming soon. And then sadly, a couple of delays we want to make sure that you're aware of. Borderlands 4 delayed indefinitely on Switch 2, while the CEO of 2K is doing all he can to not burn all the goodwill he has in the world to the ground with every time he opens his mouth. That guy needs a PR. He needs HR and PR badly. And then Jesse called this, by the way, a couple of weeks ago, I think, or hinted at it, that we had not seen anything new from Professor Layton in the world of Steam since it was first shown off. That has now been delayed to 2026. No further details given from that, just next year.
Going back to that president you guys or CEO guy you were talking about earlier, I like that guy because he gives me hope that I could be a CEO someday.
Randy Pitchford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll just hand that out to anybody now, I guess. Like he just gets up there and he's like, never mind. Let's end that because I almost said something that would get us
cannot handle it. All right.
No, I was about to make a comparison to somebody else that would have gotten us angry emails, and I'm not going to do it. Anyway,
Borderlands 4
is gonna do it.
Borderlands 4 is going to be great. It's going to be huge,
listen,
massive.
It's
going to be the biggest thing ever.
It won't be bad. It'll be good, bad, or whatever. Anyway,
make Borderlands great again.
Just know that. Here's the thing: if you pre-ordered this game, just know they're canceling pre-orders too.
Yeah,
by the way, that's a 5-alarm fire.
It's not a we're pushing it back a month. It's a indefinitely, and you're getting money back.
Yeah,
that's not good.
It's not. Well, here's the thing though. It's not just not good for Nintendo Switch 2 players. It's not good anywhere. It's bad everywhere.
I agree with that. I mean, I don't know.
My favorite statement from this week was they were like, it gets progressively worse on consoles as it, and he's like, well, just restart the game. People can just restart the game, and then why don't you build your own engine and code something?
Yeah.
Oh man. Wow. Speaking of building something out of code, let's talk about some releases and updates. Out now, the brand new shadow dropped mobile game Fire Emblem Shadows, which Nintendo is calling free to start, is available now for Apple and Android devices. And so, free to start.
Not the first time they've used that term.
And so you can go and you can download that right now. It is a game of battle and deduction as well. Tim's got a first look up on our YouTube channel. If you are
Among Us,
wondering what that means, also new GBA classics are out right now with Klonoa, Empire of Dreams, and Mr. Driller 2, as well as Hades 2 and Sonic Racing Crossworlds, all out today. Coming up in the near future, Final Fantasy Tactics, The Evil East Chronicles will be out next week, as well as Lego Party, Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny, and Super Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 on Friday. I guess it's Friday, right?
Thursday.
Is October 2nd?
October 2nd.
Thursday. Yeah, on Thursday. And then, y'all, let's just talk about this, about how stacked October is for releases. I'm not going to give dates because these are just so many right in a row. Yooka Replay, Pokemon Legends ZA, Jackbox Party Pack 11.
Sorry, just a quick clarity. That's ZA?
In Canada.
Anyway, ZA. Giant Party Pack 11, Plants vs. Zombies Replanted, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake, and Mina the Hollower, all out next month. It's insane. And that's not even the stuff, like, that's not counting the stuff that's not announced. And
that's not everything.
Yeah, that's not everything. That's just the stuff that's the stuff we think you should look out for. And if you're not seeing our list of pertinent releases every week, you can head over to Patreon and it's available for free. Our weekly update, anybody can read it. You don't even have to be a patron. You don't have to be a paying patron friend of the show. You get that junk for free. And we tell you about all kinds of releases every week that you should keep your eye on. And we do that for you because, really, it's because we love you. And so be sure to check out our YouTube channel. We'll have lots of first looks on games. I will have a first look out on Hades 2.
We've got a first look out on Hades 2 already up.
Oh, okay. Well,
then I've got to tell you, Zablanc offered. He's like, "Can I do one?" We're like, "Yes." So it's done and out, I think, already.
Honestly, Justin, I didn't know how I was going to be able to do it this weekend. So great. Awesome. It's there. Go pause the show if you're curious.
It is live right now, right, Tim?
Go.
I didn't make it live. I don't know if you had scheduled.
It's about to be live.
I did. Tim's going to make it live right now. And by the way, when you get there, could you just put a comment or a thumbs up for Tim's amazing thumbnail art, by the way? It is hot.
Oh, can we say this?
Thirsty hot.
If you are not going to our YouTube channel and
what are you doing with your life?
Just go over there and admire. Tim has taken the thumbnail knob and cranked it to 11.
Yeah,
it's an 11 out of 10. Thanks, you're
guys.
Working magic over there. It's really good.
Yeah, legitimately go subscribe to our YouTube.
If you see one that's more like a 4, it's probably mine.
That's yeah.
It was funny.
Truth be told, folks, in behind the scenes at Nintendo Dads, my thumbnails were so bad that I don't even do them anymore. I have outsourced all thumbnail creation to Tim because it was embarrassing and horrible, and it was the worst.
And I was making my own and thought I was doing an okay job, and then I had a video coming, and Tim's like, "Here's your thumbnail," and I was like, "Noted." I get it. I see.
I wasn't trying to say anything. I was just trying to help out.
You've said all you needed to say just by doing it. It's cool. Hey, we've got a new segment on the show for when the 4 of us are here together, and we're about to launch that right now. So let's discuss.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, Tim.
We're good. Tim, I was going to get you to intro this because it's your idea.
All right. So during the week I said, "Hey guys, I watched something that was really cool and I think we can do it too." And that is a blind rankings thing that we can do. And I said, "Let's call it Mystery Block Blind Rankings."
Okay.
So I'm worried about how this will turn out.
So explain the rules to us here, Tim.
Yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to I'm going to give you guys a topic essentially. So this week we're going to do blind ranking of 5 random Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Guest Character reveals.
Oh. Okay.
This is part 1, by the way, because there's so many of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys the first one, the first review of those reveals. And you guys have to rank it 1 through 5 without knowing what the other 4 are going to be. So I'll give you a 1 and you guys say, "Okay, that's number 3." And then I'll say, "Okay, here's the next one." And you guys say, "Okay, that's number 1.
Okay, got it.
All the way till we get through all 5.
We will regret our decision, and the last one will say, "Can we call this 4.5?"
Do we all have to agree on the number?
Yeah.
So there's a couple ways you guys can do it. You guys can talk it out, or you each can take one and say, "Okay, here, you're going to do this one, and then so-and-so's going to do this one," and then all the way till we get to the,
We'll see how it evolves and figure out what our methodology will be.
All right.
All right, Tim, what do you got for us?
So, by the way, this will happen only when all 4 of us are on here.
Okay.
And I have a few lined up for when we need to do it, but I welcome any of you gentlemen to offer up one next time if you'd like. And I also offer up to the audience if they'd like to give us something to rank like this.
But this is like a list or a ranking that you have somewhere else already found, and we're basically guessing the order.
You're not guessing the order. It's
5 items.
I randomly just give you names.
Give a number. But once that number is taken, like if we say, oh, that's got to be number 1, well, then everything after it can't be number 1.
Got it. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Once you make a choice, it can't change.
Okay. Before we start, Tim, do you use the tim@nintendodads.org email, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would suggest if a listener wants to submit, send it to Tim directly at tim@nintendodads.org or me directly, Jesse@nintendodads.org, not the general Gmail. Because we don't want everyone to read them and see the options up front.
Right.
And also because Marty Estes@nintendodads.org is just our complaint line.
Yeah,
that is just where you send complaints.
God, and you wouldn't believe how many I get about you.
I know, right? That's my own personal filter method.
Yes. Yep. And I get that feed, the tim@nintendodads.org directly, so I'll see those. All right. Are you guys ready? This is
ready.
Part 1 of the blind ranking.
I feel like this is going to
mystery block blind rankings of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate guest character reveals. These are only going to be 5. We know there's many, many more.
Yep.
And this will be fun because it'll be interesting, especially when I give you the first one.
The problem, we don't know which 5.
Yeah, you don't know which 5. All right, here's the first one I'm going to give you. You guys tell me where it should land. King K. Rool. The reveal of King K. Rool.
Number 2.
What number should that be?
I know what I would call 1. Now, I don't know if you're going to give us that as an option. This isn't it.
That's why I'm going 2.
But I'm okay with 2.
Yeah, I'll go with 2. I think the group consensus appears to be 2. I'm gonna be honest. My initial gut was 4, but we'll go with 2 because both Jesse and Marty. Yep.
I think he's more important than 4.
I think there are 2 others that I believe could be higher.
But will they show up?
That's the game we're playing. That's the game we're playing.
Miz says we'll
go with number 2, Tim.
What's number 2? Miz says the 5 best Toad colors.
Nice. I love that.
All right. King K. Rool is number 2.
Okay.
Here's the next one. Hero from Dragon Quest.
That is not what I was thinking is for 1, but I don't agree it's 5 either.
Let's go difference and go 4. Let's go 4.
I do know a lot of people do not like Hero because of the randomness, and that's why I think it's amazing. Of course, I'm not a Smash player, but I'm okay with 4.
He's banned in tournament play.
Because of the randomness.
If it was just my gut, I would have said 5, but I'm willing to negotiate and go to 4.
I'll let it go 4 if Jesse's okay with it.
Okay.
This will be interesting because now we're basically saying the next one, are they above or below 2 and 4, right?
All right. This one's a combo, and you'll understand why. Cloud and Sephiroth.
Do they have to take up 2?
No.
That's one slot.
Counted as 1 slot.
Okay, so we're talking about the hype or level of excitement. Like, what are we listing here again?
You're just ranking these out of the 5 I give you.
We think they were.
How good of a reveal?
I think.
I'm going 3.
3. Yeah, it's got to be 3. It's got to be 3.
All right.
So putting Final Fantasy above Dragon Quest hurts, but we did what we did.
All right, this is another combo one, and you'll understand why in a minute. Although different, you'll get it. So, the various fighters from different fighting games, such as Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter, Terry Bogard from Final Fight,
like the SDK and the
Kazuya Mishima
5
from Tekken.
Kazuya?
Tekken.
5.
It's got to be
I'm
5.
going 5.
So that forces whatever this is to be number 1.
That I feel like they should have been separated. I see Ryu and Ken being together because their movesets are pretty similar. And it really, he was an echo fighter of Ryu. But Terry and Kazuya are completely different characters.
Yes. But they were various fighters from different fighting games.
That's fair. All right.
Okay.
All right. What do you got from us that has to go to number 1 then?
I hope it is what I think it is.
Your number 1 is Sora from Kingdom
Yep.
Hearts.
Oh my God.
100%. Yep.
No.
What do you think it was?
No.
Steve.
No.
No, Sora's such a terrible
When
pick.
you were talking number 1, I was like, it's got to be Sora. Sora.
Actually, even if Sora was earlier, I would probably push for that being 1, even though I'm not a fan of the character either. But it had the hype.
Yep, 100%. It was the final one. You had the Mickey, like it was. Oh yeah, it was the hype. The only one I thought might break it would have been Joker's reveal.
See, that was my
from Persona.
Well, stay tuned for part 2 of this list the next time we do this. We'll see if if the ones you thought of will show up on that list.
I'm okay with 2 through 5, and I would be okay with the list 1 through 5 if we switch K. Rool and Sora.
No,
but we can't do it now.
No.
That's what.
Thanks, Tim. That was fun.
That's the fun part about the list.
Yeah. Well,
so just to give you a highlight of what's to come if we do this again, not counting if you guys think of anything or our community thinks of anything. Again, I have a part 2 of this. There's also one for ranking Nintendo's top reveals during the Nintendo Dads podcasting years.
Oh, geez.
And then there's rank 5 franchises you wish were on the Switch.
I think we should also do rank our top 5 guests for Nintendo Dads.
I think I have an idea for a list.
All right, cool.
I have an idea for a list.
I have a list for an idea.
Let's go for what we've been playing.
Please.
What we've been playing.
Tim, kick us off.
All right. So I've been playing a few things because I've been wanting to try out some different stuff. I've been continuing to dabble a little bit with Star Wars Outlaws a little bit more, not as far as you, Justin, as we talked about earlier. More a little bit with Gloomy Eyes. It's a shorter game. Again, I talked about that last week, and there's a first look of that out. I did dabble and play with Donkey Kong Bonanza, DK Island, and Emerald Rush DLC. I did.
What do you think of that?
I think I agree with everybody that it doesn't feel right now, at least $20 worth. It didn't feel like that, but I'm having fun with just. There's 2 things that I'm doing with not just the DLC. I jumped back in and actually may continue if I have time to do the second run of Donkey Kong. The new game plus or whatever.
Yep.
Because there's some things I discovered when I went to go do that you actually there is new game plus material there where you have to go to each of the what do they call it, the elders, and get something from them for Pauline to get I guess for singing. So. And I thought that was interesting. There's still an extra piece of the story there that I thought would be interesting.
I tried that mode with the elders, going and getting the thing, and basically what it does is it puts you in an infinite bonanza, and you have to use that skill to get.
Yeah, you have to make a run through that a giant long board.
It's basically a gauntlet. It has 10 bananas in it, and some of them are hidden, and it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's meant to test your skill.
Yep.
You've got to know like how all the Bananza skill, like the things you have work. You know,
you have
and
to
it
be
says
speedrunner skill set and
you're
mindset.
There's no time. There's no time, thankfully, because otherwise I would have been out.
But still,
I would have been
it's
out.
like you got to know how to use all the different abilities.
Controls.
Oh yeah.
To pull off what you need to pull off.
What's kind of
which is why I'm not interested.
What's keeping me into it though is the story aspect of it. That there's
it does
still
have a story.
There's a Pauline aspect of it that's kind of interesting to add to her story, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious. So I'm see if I can pull that out. But yeah, going back to the DLC, the DK Island, exploring that was kind of fun, but it was like kind of really light. So I was just kind of like, okay. But then when you go into the Emerald Rush mode, I actually I had fun the first run through of it, but I was still kind of lost in exactly what I was doing with it. And I thought I was doing pretty well with finding all the emeralds. But then when I got to the end, it was like, I'm missing some areas where there's more emeralds and I can't find them. So it was like, okay,
I've played through it twice and I've had a good time both times. I do know that there is something if you get all the way to the very end, it unlocks a new boss fight.
Oh, okay.
It's a redux of an original boss fight, but which people who know what's going on with Emerald Rush will kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
But
it did open up a new layer when I got through it too.
Yes.
So yes.
And so I tried it on the factory layer or whichever one that is. And it's way more difficult than it is on DK Island. Because like on DK Island, you can't fall off. If you fall in the water and that's it. On this one, you fall off. And
there's no balloons to save you.
Well, no, there are, but I mean, after a while, you just lose life.
Okay.
And you could even die. I mean, so I didn't, but it's way more to me. It was way more difficult.
It is fun, but there's so much other stuff coming out, obviously, because now we just got Hades too, and I did jump into that as well, even though I didn't play Hades 1. I just said, screw it. If I'm into the Hades 2 and I finish that one, I'll go back and play Hades 1 like a prequel or something. So I only did like maybe at most an hour of it, got 2 runs in, and I can see why people love Hades. So it's a lot of fun. And I know, Justin, you'll probably be talking about that too. So, and you eventually, Marty, I know you said you're still going to play it. I also been playing Fire Emblem Shadows, like mentioned earlier, the mobile game. And it is for me a lot of fun. It's a really nice, quick jump in on your phone type thing. You really don't have to spend any money on it if you don't want to. The only reason why you might is if you want to do the pass like any other game would, so, but getting the game pass unlocks more items for your characters or access to more items. But the biggest thing that I like the most about this game, the Fire Emblem Shadows, is that you are a character who you have the option of being light or shadow. And you can check off a box that says, okay, when I jump into a battle, you can either jump just in the light side and play the light as a light character, or you can jump in on the shadow character side and play as a shadow character. Or you can hit a checkbox and then you'll go it'll be random essentially. But basically, if you do pick light, you're playing 2 rounds against 2 other people on the internet who's playing the game. I think it basically match makes 2 other people with you. If you're playing the light side, you're basically playing to figure out who is the shadow player because you don't know who it is. And you have to basically look for signs of who that shadow player is, because in the second round, you fight that player. They reveal themselves as the shadow player. And you get to vote in between those 2 rounds who is the shadow player. And if you vote right, you get an extra life during that second battle. So if you die, you get come back to life, and then you can keep battling. If you're the shadow player, your goal is to make it look like somebody else is the shadow player, and so that people make votes on that other person, so that they get dinged, that for not selecting the right person, and then you go into the battle with a little bit more strength, if I understand correctly. You can upgrade your weapons, you can upgrade your magic spells throughout as you build your character up. There's outfits you can get for them. They're little cute chibi versions of them, of the Fire Emblem characters. There's familiar Fire Emblem characters that come in, and that's part of the lore of this game, is that some of these characters, like the first character you use, Lynn from Fire Emblem, is brought in. She has amnesia, of course, so she doesn't know where she was before this, but she woke up in this realm. And so there's other characters that are coming in from other games into this game as well. So the art is fantastic. The music is phenomenal. I'm loving the music in this game. I've actually just been sitting there with the phone up and just listening to the music a little bit in the background while the game was running. So I highly recommend it. If you like mobile games, put that on your list to download and try out, and let me know what you think. That's what I've been playing.
Jesse, what you playing?
Well, with the move that I still haven't completed yet, haven't had a chance to play much. The one thing I did pick up is a volume of manga that's new to North America. It's called the Mark of Erdrick. Right now, the first volume's available now. The volumes 2 and 3 are available on Amazon to pre-order. I have already got them pre-ordered. I haven't started yet, but I listened to an interview on the Slime Time podcast with two of the translator and the editor who worked on this book. And my understanding is this was originally written in 1991, and it takes place after about 100 years after Dragon Quest III, but before Dragon Quest 1. So the main character is a descendant of Erdrick, but it's a new character, and things happen. Other than that, I don't know. So it's probably a book I'll start reading this weekend when I'm taking a break from moving boxes and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I had slotted to talk about today.
Okay. Justin, what you playing?
Platypus says I'm playing Buxel in real life.
I have been playing, to Tim's point, a little bit of Hades 2. Got about 25 minutes into it, and I was just booting up there as well. I enjoy it already. Just we'll say that. I've been enjoying it. I have really been enjoying Hollow Knight Silksong. I am 25 hours into that game. If anyone who's been playing along, I am near the end of Act 1. I am now at the Citadel, and I am facing the giant boss at the end. And there is something about this game, the pure, like, running your head into the wall so many times, losing, and then finally when you actually do win, like figure the combo the right, it is such a incredible experience. And then as you begin to get all these abilities, like any good Metroidvania, all of a sudden it opens up more and more and more. And so I have absolutely been loving Hollow Knight Silksong for sure. And to Tim's earlier point, I've been playing some Star Wars Outlaws. It's a nice sort of like balance between those two things, right? So if I'm getting kind of really frustrated with Silksong, then I'm moving over to Star Wars Outlaws and playing it there and really enjoying what I'm saying. Having a great time with it. I think kind of interestingly enough, really very much coming off of playing Cyberpunk earlier this year as well. Very much sort of has sort of that like questing, okay, moving on to this mission feel at times, but really just enjoying living in the world of Star Wars, and that it's not a Jedi specific story, but we are beginning to build more of the world around it, which is really cool. So that's what I'm playing. Marty?
Cool. So I finished up Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, Starcross Worlds. I would say I finished up the main story. I didn't get 100% on there because I still haven't gotten 100% on Forgotten Land either. And it was good. So the thing about the Nintendo Switch 2 editions, or the enhanced stuff, is really, I think I'm on the fence. I've done 2 now. I've gotten the Jamboree TV and this. Mario Wonder is going to have to be really good. and hear this, that I don't think that Starcross Worlds was bad, but when I initially read people saying it's about 5 to 6 hours of additional content, it's about 5 to 6 hours of additional content. The final boss is an absolute jerk. It was one of the hardest fights I've ever had in a Kirby game. We'll put it that way. Which, if you know anything about modern Kirby games, they like to crank the difficulty up right near the very end. And this is for sure on that. Like, it was multiple tries before I defeated it. So, it looks gorgeous. I love it. I love the return to that game. I don't know if it's $20. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think people just have to make that decision. Did you love Kirby and the Forgotten Land? Then you'll love you'll love Starcross Worlds. But if you didn't love it, then it's probably not for you. Just like if you didn't love Jamboree TV is not for you. And if you don't love Odyssey, probably the Bella Bell Park thing is not for you. And so, but it was, I enjoyed playing it. Once I got kind of settled down and locked in, I got through most of the stages. Basically, Forgotten Land has 6 areas, or maybe it's 5. I can't remember if it's 5 or 6 areas that you get to. They have a boss at the end of each one. There's 2 Starcross Worlds additional areas per section. So like in the first area, there's 2 Starcross Worlds. In the second one, there's 2 Starcross Worlds. So it's been good. I mean, it was fun, but let's just be transparent. Nintendo gave us a code for it, right? So I don't know if I'd had to pay $20 for it, I may have went, I don't know. I've also been playing Discounty. Really, really enjoying that game. Tim, I can't thank you enough for like talking about it on the show. It's really good. And it's some days it's right up my alley. And I was doing some research this week. There's about 45 to 51 in-game days for that unique things happen. And I'm on like day 16 or something. And now it does count your days even if you don't progress the story, which is, I love. Like, if you don't want to progress the story, you can just go do a day or 2 in the shop and sell stuff. I like that.
That's cool about it. Yeah.
And I read too that once you get done with it, you can just keep playing the shop indefinitely. So I'm significantly locked into this game. I'm invested in the story. I'll finish it. And then we were just sitting around the other night, didn't really do anything. My wife and I were talking, and I booted up Super Mario Land on NSO, and before you knew it, I beat it. I was like, I'm just going to play a couple levels just because I want to hear the music, and then 30 minutes later, I was rolling credits. Nice. I still love that game. It's so weird. And I think that's why I like it. So, yeah, that's what I've been playing. Looking forward to diving into Hades 2 some this weekend, but it reminded me I never finished Hades 1, and I really want to do that before I play this. And so I'll probably try to run through Hades real quick before I start. And I need to play some more Hollow Knight. So, all right. That's what we've been playing. Let's turn on the community spotlight.
Guys, I am so glad we're on for this one. We got so many great questions this week. So I'm just going to jump right into it. thanks for everybody who sent in those questions, and hopefully we didn't miss any because we've been on a roll and missing at least one every week. So, all right. First one comes from Mecha Dragon. He asks, which mode do you guys play your Switch 2 the most? Handheld, tabletop, or docked?
Mm.
Handheld for me.
Yeah, I would say handheld also, as I'm literally playing it in handheld.
I don't like it handheld. It feels a little bit too heavy for me. So when I'm home, I play docked. But if I take it anywhere to go somewhere, I'll normally tabletop it and detach the Joy-Con.
You're one of those sickos, hey?
Yep.
I'm trying to find
the larger screen helps. I don't
numbers.
know. I wouldn't have been able to do that on the smaller Switch 1 screen.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the poll here so I can see the numbers, but I also mainly
I think
play
most
in
of them were
handheld.
docked.
Was it mostly docked? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very early on. Oh, wait, no, I'm looking in the wrong channel. That's why. Too many channels. Who made all these channels? What the heck?
We should have a conversation with that person.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. 25 docked, 3 tabletop, and 13 handheld.
Mm.
And I think some
Okay.
people voted twice if they were more of a 50-50 split.
Yes, they did. They made a comment that they did. But yes. And the
I
only
will
reason
also-
why
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the only reason why I do the docked version a lot
do.
is because of when I have to for, streaming or recording something. Otherwise, I'd probably be more handheld more often. What were you gonna say, Justin?
Yeah, I would say that in some ways it very much depends on what I'm actually also playing. Will sort of
Yes.
determine it. Like I did find like with Silksong, I got to a point where I was like, just the controls of being in or the control setting for what handheld does not feel as good as the proper pro controller in my hand to get the what I want moving forward as well. But I would say most of mine has definitely been in my hand as well. I do think the other byproduct of that, I think to your point there, Tim, is like I only have one dock, right? And so, sorry, that's set up on our main TV, right? So like so for me to capture anything that I would normally do like on my laptop, I have to actually like take down my dock settings, move it over, plug it in somewhere else, right? And so that's just arduous. So I don't think I play as much on my monitor that I would do my capture on that I normally do, just based on our current setup.
And
Now,
I did buy
ask
dock,
me when
so I have one here for streaming and one on the big TV.
you know what I ended up actually doing with mine is I did make a solution recently because I had to do some capturing. I actually went out and bought a new power adapter, like the Switch 2 power adapter. And basically when I go to switch out Switch 2, I literally unplug my Switch 1 dock, leave the HDMI cord in there, take the Switch 2 dock over, put in the HDMI, and then I just move the power. I just bought a spare power cord, and now that works. So it still requires me to move some pieces around, but it's not nearly as much as like I was before. I was literally like unplugging the entire system, and it was just a pain in the ass. But speaking of, like I think we all backed the new Genki project, right? For new portable docks as well. So can't wait for that to arrive in December. So
yep, the new Covert Dock 3.
Yep.
So if anybody is listening, what Justin was referring to is Genki has put on Kickstarter to kickstart their new Covert Dock 3, which does support Switch 2. And if you've heard us talk about it before, we've all purchased either the Covert Dock 1, Covert Dock 2, and some of their other products like the Shadow Cast and Shadowcast Pro versions 1 and 2. So lots of various things there. And so that is also the other thing they have is the Shadowcast Pro 3, which has the detachable Shadowcast 3 on it, which I thought was very interesting, which allows you to capture your consoles and things like that. Now, keep in mind, they are also showing it to be used with other devices, not just the Switch 2. You can use it with your handhelds like your Rogue Ally X Xbox Edition if you'd like. Or like Steam Decks and all that kind of stuff. And I even think they were showing it being used with the PlayStation 5. So
I think so, yeah.
So lots of good things there. I would encourage you to go check out that Genki Kickstarter right now. That particular product we've known to be a very good product. So hopefully, and things point to be that it should be the same for the third version.
Yeah, and I do swear we are not sponsored by Genki.
Yep.
Yeah,
we are not. Especially when it comes to Kickstarter, we have to get it just like the rest of you guys.
Yep. We just like their products, right?
Yes.
So.
Yep. All right. Next question is Mikey Burgett. If you were going to hire a musical artist or band to do the score of the latest game in your favorite video game franchise, who would it be?
I have 3 answers.
Wow.
Okay. Go for it.
So the first one would be, I would love to see, and this is the more mainstream one. All right.
Okay.
I would love to see Postmodern Jukebox take on any Nintendo game, like, because if you're not familiar with Postmodern Jukebox, what they do is they take modern songs and they do them in different styles. And they bring in different vocalists and different things, and different band members, to make that happen. If you have not checked them out, you definitely should. You'll probably find some some songs that you really like. I was just gonna go look up some of their stuff. Like here it is. Barracuda by Heart, done in 1970s James Bond style.
Nice.
That's awesome.
House of the Rising Sun by the Animals, done in 60s 70s soul. So,
that's awesome.
I mean, and it's all very quality. The other my other one, and my initial gut reaction was, there's a band called the 8-Bit Big Band. And they do a lot of like swing style and big band music. They would be perfect for a Mario game. I would love to see it, especially if it was like a Mario 2, like the USA version, Redux. And then I'm going to dig way back in the bag for this one. If you were around in the early 2000s, you may remember the Neskimos. Did you guys ever hear about the Neskimos?
No.
They were a rock band who covered video game songs, and they did a lot of Mega Man. They did a lot of Kirby, a lot of NES. Like their first album, they did the Bionic Commando theme, Castlevania 2 medley, Fever from Dr. Mario, Port Town from F-Zero, and Legend of Zelda Dungeon and Dark World. So this is all, they're no longer a band, and there's no way to they didn't ever have their stuff on iTunes or anything, so that it's out there if you want it. But man, it's so good. The first one I ever heard was their version of Dr. Wily's Castle from Mega Man 2, and I was hooked immediately. I was like, this is so cool. I would sit and listen to them. I would go to a concert. Nice. So yeah, those 3.
All right, what else you guys got?
I don't know if they're still around, but the band is called the Descendants of Erdrick. I think they were in Dallas or somewhere in Texas. I've heard of them when I was at E3 in 2011. Obviously they do Dragon Quest music, but they also did some Castlevania, Mega Man, and probably Zelda as well. But so they have cover songs for several franchises like worth of games. And I think the previously mentioned Slime Time podcast uses their Dragon Quest cover as their theme song.
Nice. Justin?
I got nothing for this one. I am seriously, yeah, I am struggling for this one for music.
So yeah, Tim, what do you got? I got I like EDM stuff, if you've heard me talk about it before. So Apache is one of my favorites, And what he does is he takes a lot of orchestrated music and turns it into an EDM song, which he does very well with. And there's other artists that do it too. But I thought it would be very cool if there was if he took some orchestrated Zelda music and put it in a Zelda game.
Nice.
Maybe that cyberpunk Zelda that we keep,
yeah,
or the space Zelda that we keep wanting. Can we just have Primus do a soundtrack for some game, just of any kind?
Yeah, get that heavy bass going in. That would be awesome.
Like, I feel like if we revived Earthworm Jim, that would be great. Primus.
There you go.
The Descendants of Erdrick website, and the track they have on their homepage is a track from Super Mario RPG.
Oh, nice.
It's so interesting, the evolution of the soundtrack for the video games lately. Hey, like when I was a kid, like you heard the music, but you didn't really it was the background filler, right? But now it's so we're asking for it to be on the app right away, and Claire Obscura is going on tour in relation to their game, and you see concerts for Final Fantasy VII. The soundtracks of these games that I think, when we were growing up, it was just the 8-bit music in the background that we didn't really consider, has been elevated to a level that is just incredible. So much so that you can hear that music. And I go back to, and Jesse, I know you don't think I pay attention to you, but I do. You go back to the scene, right? Not the cathedral scene. Final Fantasy 6?
Opera House?
6, the Opera House. I was like, it's a theater. What is it? Opera House scene, right? That it becomes so, you hear that and you are instantly drawn to that moment of not only where you were and the emotions that you were being invoked upon you as a player, but also the scene that's occurring in front of you, right? And all the connections and all the where were you when you first heard it? What was the senses around you? It's such an interesting sort of connection around it as well. And just it's a fascinating sort of growth in the soundtrack space to, again, a space that a long time ago was just a background beeps and bops while we were waiting to press select and start, right? So
I would love it to see even if you have the regular artists who are doing the songs that they normally do, if they do another Animal Crossing game, they'll have probably the same people making another soundtrack, which was fantastic. I love the music in Animal Crossing New Horizons, but I think it would be cool if they do a DLC where you could get artists for example, the lo-fi artists come in and do lo-fi songs for Animal Crossing,
I dropped this link in our Discord this week that I found a YouTube channel, Nostalgia, who has jazz covers of different games.
Nice.
And they did the entire, or I don't know if it's them or if they've gotten the music from somewhere else. It was the entire soundtrack of Mega Man 1 and 2 as jazz. And I was like, this is not going to work. And then I started playing it. And it was all I listened to Tuesday and Wednesday this week.
Nice.
It was,
isn't that great how that turns out?
I will listen to a lot of lo-fi and jazz and stuff as I work in my office, just because I can't listen to stuff with lyrics because I will get distracted.
Yeah. I think my answer is I would like, and I think Tim, you'll appreciate this, I would like to see Linkin Park do the music to the next Animal Crossing.
Nice.
Right? But I don't want instrumental. I want it all song.
Yeah.
Right? Just lyrical. You know that they use in the Michael Bay movies where they zoom in the eye at the last moment of Transformers?
Yeah.
Right? I want that, but I want to zoom in. It's Tom Nook's eye. Starts
when
when
you pay off Tom Nook, it's what I've done.
Yeah, exactly. Right? 100%.
Yeah. That would be my favorite game of all time.
Great question.
Yeah, it was a great question. Next up is from episode.
I'll throw you one. I want a Canadian road trip game where you have to drive across the provinces and experience, I don't know, you have to have a fight in Vancouver, you have to sell oil in Alberta, you have to collect wheat in Saskatchewan, all to the background music of the Tragically Hip. And if you're Canadian, you would understand this reference and you would say that would be an amazing game. If you're not Canadian, sorry, eh?
Yeah,
What
But
about
I'm excited.
Nickelback?
I have
Would
no
you
idea
throw
what you were just.
Nickelback in
No,
there?
I
no,
have no
no,
idea what you
no,
just said.
no, tragically hip.
Okay.
But we're excited for Pokemon ZA.
Epicel asked the question, why isn't Popeye Arcade the most important Nintendo game?
Because it's not
That is
Donkey Kong.
that's a great question. I would think if you were looking at the multiverse timeline of Nintendo, it is the it is the it's the epicenter, right? It is by far the absolute most important event to occur to Nintendo in North America's history because it starts it all, right? So that's a great call out.
Right. I mean, it should be.
Yeah,
It should be for sure.
So history lesson: we have radar scope that bombed. So Nintendo says we need a new game that runs on this hardware. Miyamoto wanted to make a Popeye game. They couldn't get the licensing for it, so he turned the game that he wanted to be the Popeye game into Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I think if he made the Popeye game he wanted to make at the time, less people would have cared, because in the early '80s, Popeye was kind of a niche character. He was more, I think he was more popular in the '40s and '50s, '60s. I think he's that old. Uh, but the fact that, and so if people would have seen a Popeye arcade game, a lot of people would have just said, okay," and walked on. But then instead of they're seeing a monkey and and a construction worker, new characters they haven't seen before, so it kind of got their attention, and so Donkey Kong is what Donkey Kong is now. So don't get me wrong, I love what did become Popeye when they did get the rights to make a Popeye game. So he still made a game based on that franchise, and I wish it would show up in Arcade Archives or NSO Online, but I don't think any company's willing to relicense it for distribution, so we're never going to see it again.
Correct.
That's a bummer.
And that would be why it's not more important.
Vic says Popeye is Nintendo's canon event.
There it is. Thank you. Yeah.
K-pop Demon Hunters the Block asks, what's the weirdest collection you have?
It's the weirdest collection I have.
Weirdest collection.
Weirdest collection.
I
used to collect buttons and pins as a kid. Like, that was something I was really into. Not so much anymore, but I do love a good button and a pin on a lanyard, like when we go somewhere like PAX East or something.
Yeah.
That's always like,
Yeah.
for me, I sort of I have to get a button or a pin of one of the games I played there on my lanyard. Don't know why that's important to me. It's a weird collection, weird thing. I don't think I collect a lot of other things. Just hopes and dreams.
Weird.
Just hopes and dreams.
Tears,
elephant tears. I collect elephant tears.
Like, what? I'll collect art books for games I like, even though I'll pretty much never actually go through them and page through them. So that might be the weird part of it. So I've got a bunch of Dragon Quests. I have a bunch of Persona. I have a bunch of Zeldas. I have a whole bunch of books that I've probably never ever looked through.
I think ours is we have gotten in the habit of getting a Starbucks mug for every state that we visit. But we have to be there. Like, it can't just be like, oh, we want one of all 50 states. It's somewhere, the rule kind of is, it's somewhere that my wife and I both have to be physically, like not a flyover. It can be like we're driving through the state, and so we stop there. So when we went out west a few years ago, we got several that I was like, I think we need, let's see, it was Oklahoma, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, and Missouri. So we made we made several stops, but the frustration with it is I get some of them collected and then they switch the art up on them. And so we had already had a couple from like this minimalistic style they'd done, and we got rid of those. And then we started this bin there, which was more like hand drawn art. Well, now they've already swapped off of it too.
Yeah. My daughter just started doing that collection also, Marty. But the rule that we have is for countries you're visiting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, as opposed to like the 50 states. So she's got a couple from the countries that she's visited. But yeah, that's sort of like her big, like, that's the things she searches for.
Yeah.
Also, I can't wait till she moves out and takes us those mugs too. Jeez.
I do have a few of the Star Wars ones that they did for a couple years. I missed the Hoth one that was very popular, and now they want $125 for it on resale sites, and I'm like, no, we're not doing that. So, and we did get when we went to Disney back in 21. We got all of the 50th anniversary Walt Disney World. They're like each park had its own. So Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot all had their own.
Gotcha.
And so that was specifically 50th anniversary. So we got those. And several of those, like the Star Wars ones and the Disney ones, they're put up. Like, so we can't, like that. We don't want to break them or anything. I haven't bought one in a good long while.
I'm
going to be right back. My wife just popped down here for a second, so hold on.
Okay. One of the weirdest collections I have, and I don't know if Justin can still hear this because he might find this funny, is that I collect Canadian money. Because it's not like I put it in like envelopes or pages and binders or anything like that. It's more of like when we get cash, or when we used to do cash and stuff, I would get change and bills and all that kind of stuff and put it in a box when I got home, because I can't spend it anywhere over here. And then I always forgot to take it with me whenever I went back to Canada to spend it again over there. So I would get more change and more bills or whatever and put it in the box. So I've collected Canadian bills and coins over the years that I always forget to take back with me whenever I go back to Canada to spend again. So that is my weird collection of Canadian.
I mean, you're right there. So
yeah, I know. But it's gotten harder to use it, because now it's just use your card or phone or whatever to pay something. So that is probably the weirdest thing I've got collected. All right. So the other question that Zablanc asks is, I'm double dipping this week on Hollow Knight Silksong. It has already, or Hollow Knight Silksong has already outsold. Okay, sorry. He's double dipping on the questions. So Hollow Knight Silksong has already outsold Metroid Dread in just 2 weeks. 4.5 million to the 3 million that Dread sold. What would you do to make Metroid more appealing to the Hollow Knight market?
I think they've already done it. Announce a game, wait 7 years, finally release it.
I would give it. This will sound completely like an easy solution. I would give it to a small indie development team, and I would reduce the price of it. That is what I would do. And I would make the cycle time, or I'd try and make the cycle. I shouldn't say make. I will make the cycle time, but like try not to take 7 years or 8 years to do it. But I think, I would definitely say, to make it more accessible, drop it to like a new creative indie team who, and again, we could just use Silksong or Team Cherry as an example, and then just drop the pricing of it to like down to $30. Right? Metroidvania is not a the genre is not the barrier, right? You have a bunch of successful games at that level. Like, and if you think of like the Prince of Persia game from last year, yes, when it was originally released, it was full price. Ubisoft eventually, quickly slashed it down to like $10, right? But there are a ton of Metroidvania games that are out there that do it incredibly well. The price tag, I think, again, in the current level of financial constraints and economy, shows that we need to be more open to flexible pricing models that would work. And I think if you are trying to rebuild an audience, you need to get into as many hands as possible, as approachable as possible. And I think lowering the price to a $20 or $30 price point is a way to doing that.
So I would say this. I think that there's a couple of things that they could do. And Tim, you may not like this, and other Metroid fans may not like this, but I think that one of the things that they could do is that up until Dread, Metroid did not have a cohesive story that was woven through the game, other than get from point A to point B, collect item, defeat boss. Right? We saw hints of it with Fusion. Fusion was better. Dread really started to lean into some of the story. Silksong and Hollow Knight both have a story that is uncovered as you go, right? That there's that written and vocal. All right. And so I think that that's one of the places I think Nintendo stumbles in a lot of their IP is they're like, here's the skeleton of the story. You use your imagination to fill in the gaps. The other thing that I would say is I would lean into M-rated and horror. Metroid, like, I know it's all about the solitude of space. Well, solitude can be scary. And like, I don't know about you guys, but when that you have to go to the ghost ship in Super Metroid, that creeps me out every time. And why are we not leaning into that? Like, EA proved years ago Dead Space could do that, right? And I'm not asking it to be like super gory or anything, but M-rated could make it to where it's more appealing to quote unquote mature players, right? So
quote unquote.
I mean, I say that because I think that anyway, I won't go there. But I do think that they I hate to agree with Justin on this, but the price is probably a barrier too now. Which means that the game would maybe they make a game and break it up into two chunks and sell both of them for $20. Like one's 20 and the other's 20, and make it a continuing story across two games. Or you just reboot the whole thing. Dread was the end of the story, which we know it's not, but say that was the end, reboot the whole thing and just make Metroid. That's it. And do it, add in new stuff. I don't know. I don't understand why it doesn't sell well. I mean, because it's one of my favorites, but that means I have bias.
For me, it's more of why isn't Nintendo, like you said, doing the mature type thing, Marty? Why aren't they doing more? The biggest place I think that they should be doing it at, or at least marketing it at, is the Game Awards. Why aren't they talking about, like when Dread was coming out, I was fully expecting them to drop something at the Game Awards about it, like totally for that audience. When they have games like that, why aren't they doing that? And that's what I don't understand. Why aren't they pushing games like Metroid, who is meant for that same audience who watches most of that stuff on Game Awards? Why aren't they putting that there? And I think that's where that would help. But I also thought too that if you want more of the cutesy stuff, we could, do a Metroid Chibi Samus. And, you can make it local players, and have it multiplayer where maybe 3 players are playing. And you're playing like you're maybe on the Federation Force or something, No?
Get out of here.
Get that Federation
Playing a
Force
soccer game?
nonsense out of here. Get it out of here.
No, but I was thinking, because I was going down this path of a Chibi Samus, and then I was like, wait, didn't they do the Chibi thing? But anyways, I thought you could still do the side-scrolling Metroidvania, but do like a, more cutesy art style, like a Chibi, style or something like that, and have fun with it. So it appeals to more people. Maybe not, maybe more on the opposite side of what you were talking about, Marty. It doesn't have to be part of the full story. Maybe there's a side game or something like that. So, but lots of great ideas. Hopefully Prime will, I think probably a lot more people gravitate towards Prime, because that was one of the better selling ones, and we'll see how well Prime 4 sells. See if there's a lot of fans of that. Next question is from Darth Platypus. And they ask, Nintendo has come to you for ideas for a stereoscopic 3D game that will work with the virtual butt accessory.
I think that's supposed to be
virtual butt accessory.
Yes, that was a typo. The virtual boy accessory. I had to read it that way because it was funny when I read it that last time. What franchise do you pitch, and what would the game be for your virtual butt accessory?
What I thought of is it's an Atari franchise, so might be a licensing challenge, but a battle zone. If you're not familiar with it, the original arcade is a vector graphic game, so it's already monochrome, and it's a tank battler game where you're like first person tank, and you manipulate the battlefield to try to not die and take out the other tanks.
That's cool.
Okay.
I like that one.
So the two that came to my mind were, and one's a gimme, and then the other one is the one I'm actually kind of more excited about, is I would love to see them do Star Fox.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's the one that is kind of a gimme. The other one's more obscure, and this was the first one that I thought of. I was more excited about was a first-person Luigi's Mansion, where you're hunting ghosts in stereoscopic 3D.
Ooh, I like that one.
Reply to this question, something I thought of. The games don't have to be monochrome red. If these are stereoscopic 3D, like I think it is, with the left, half the screen will be left eye, half the screen will be right eye, they can be color. So we can have like homebrew games running in the Virtual Boy accessory in 3D if people know how to code for it properly.
Right. That would be interesting. Be very interesting. I thought it would be kind of cool to play Metroid Prime Pinball in stereoscopic 3D.
Ooh.
Because they do have a pinball game on there, but I thought it would be kind of cool if they, just slightly turn it a little bit more and you're following the ball in the pinball game like you do, I think, in that pinball game that they already have. But it would be in the Metroid Prime pinball game. Thought that'd be kind of cool. Got anything, Justin?
I would agree with Marty in regards to Star Fox. I think that's a great pull.
That is a good one.
I don't think I could do better than that, if I'm being honest.
All right. Last question is from David B, and it came from on Patreon. How would the NINDADS change public perception on the pricing structure for amiibo games and NSO accessories like the Virtual Boy? It seems the Nintendo pricing has gotten a lot of negative press, and was wondering how the dads would turn it around. More amiibo functionality, more NSO offerings, less confusing marketing on key cards, DLC, etc., etc. What would you guys do? I thought Muppets.
Not sure about this one.
Need more puppets and Muppets.
I love it.
More puppets.
So
Singing and dancing Muppets.
So spend more money on marketing.
Yes.
Go ahead, Marty.
Go ahead, Justin. No, you go ahead.
I think that the part that I would like, if in that I cannot change or adjust the actual cost of them, what I would do is I would do some level of like, you can purchase them directly. Like if you are a Nintendo Switch online subscriber, you get them at a discounted price, is what I would end up doing.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
like it.
that's great. You get access to the Virtual Boy, and
On
because
things
you
like the
are a
Virtual
Nintendo.
Boy, you can't play the games if you're not. So why would you want to use
Correct.
this?
So I guess actually maybe here's what I would do then, Jesse. But like, so you would that's a great point, Jesse.
Well,
Damn it.
Justin, let me leapfrog off that and maybe say what you were trying to say, and it is this: is that NSO members would get game vouchers pricing on new releases.
Sure. There you go. That's a great point. Yeah. Yeah.
So Mario Kart World would not be $79.99. It would be $69.99 or $59.99 even.
Yeah.
And here's another thing I would add to that as well is that it is time for certain Nintendo Switch first party titles to be Nintendo Selects.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring back the Nintendo Selects line.
Yeah.
And I would say those can't be $19.99 now because of inflation, tariffs, whatever. But if you would price some of those early Switch games, first party
40.
games at $29.99,
Yeah, 30 or 40.
The
you
challenge
would see some success there.
the challenge I sort of have with this question is like what we're trying to solve for is like increased sales, essentially, or audience understanding. And I don't know if the data indicates that we're having that current challenge. Right. I do think like nobody wants to pay that much money for sure. Right. And how do we, and I think that the comment is like, how do we become consumer friendly? Well, the response in some ways is, well, at least we're not as bad as the other guys. Right. And I don't know necessarily if that's the response we want to be
Yeah, that's
providing.
not the argument we want to be making.
No, exactly. And so I wonder if there's like if there could be like some level of like Nintendo loyalty program. So not only you Nintendo Switch Online individual, like, and I do think of like some of that, like they
Bring
took
back
away the hey, if I
gold
buy a
points.
game, I get the gold coins back. We need to increase that value exponentially, right?
Yeah.
Keep me in the market so that
Well,
every 4
the
games that
Wii
I
U
purchase, I get that
equivalent of
free one.
that was 10%, and the Switch
Yeah.
version of that was only 5.
Yeah,
Put
I
it
think we
back to
actually need to
10.
blow that out of the I think we need to actually blow that out of the water. I think you need to go to 20. I think you need to be keeping people in your ecosystem and are
Buy
getting
3 games, get 1 free.
100%. And I know that seems
I guess
crazy,
it'd be
right?
5
But
games.
yeah, or hey, we saw like I would even say like, hey, you have to purchase these amiibo using the Nintendo Switch online store. Okay, fair enough, whatever it is, right? The online store. Well, because we actually have your past history, we see that you're a frequent flyer, you've been on here, blah, 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 whatever it is, you get 20% off, right? Like there has to be some value tied associated to your Nintendo Online account that allows, because they have the sales data, to be able to say, hey, here's your discount, here's your pricing. I think of a great example is like the Lego. If you have a Lego membership or whatever it is, and you buy stuff from them, you get points, or you get VIP experience, you get additional like things bought in. I bought my wife the Willy Wonka Lego set recently and it got mailed
Nice.
to me, and there was a special gift in there, an additional gift, right? Which was, by the way, FYI, it was the Sega
The Sega
Genesis
Genesis
controller.
controller. Yeah.
Yeah, with Sonic. We're going to give that away during Extra Life, by the way. That's exciting.
Nice.
But like I think that's sort of the way that like you want to feel like those things actually genuinely matter. And I don't know if the membership, the online, the you want to be part of the Nintendo club, the Nintendo community. And I don't know if Nintendo is really upscaling that or upselling that value to you in a way that I think people really want to. But I think you could tie those things together in relation to some of the pricing that we see. And you sort of double that value, right? Like, hey, you don't want to pay X amount for an amiibo. Well, fair play. Then you should join our Nintendo Switch Online subscription, right? So you're still getting money, right? And you get a discount from it. But like that's the way that I would sort of position it. Okay. Was that the last question?
Exclusives too. So again, if
Yeah.
you're playing, if you're paying into NSO, it seemed like they were starting to go down that path, but it's like, okay, if you are paying an NSO, then you have access to maybe an hour early to put in a pre-order for something. that's coming out.
Yep.
And let me give you another incentive here too. It's easy incentive that everybody else is already doing anyway. If you're an NSO subscriber and you pre-order the new first-party Nintendo game, you get early access.
Sure.
4 to 5 days early.
It's a great one. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff they can do here.
Right.
100%. Yeah.
Call us, Nintendo.
They're additional value adds.
Oh wait, they do already. They call us all the time.
They call us all the time. I should take those drinks. Hey, before we jump out, I think that was the last question, right?
Yes, that was the last question.
I would be remiss, and I totally forgot to say it during the what we've been playing portion, and my wife would get angry, upset with me if I didn't say something. That we in the Masson household have also been playing Dinkum, the demo that is out on the Nintendo Switch. Jody saw it during the direct and was like, let's download that. I want to try it out. And she very rarely does that. And it is like 3D Stardew Valley placed in Australia. And she has been having a ton of fun playing it. And she got eaten by a crocodile. That was sort of funny to watch. But it's sort of like Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, placed in Australia. And she's like literally telling me, she's like, when is it coming out? Is it coming out? Like, and I was like, it's November. And she's like, come on, why not now? So I would like, if you have a person in your family who's like really into cozy games and might like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing, you might want to actually send them over to play Dinkum. They may actually really enjoy it. Again, 3D idea of it, but very, very enjoyable for sure.
Okay.
She said she likes it, but the controllers sometimes feel a little bit weird. And I was like, it's a fair assessment.
Maybe while there's a demo out.
Yeah, but try it out. It's demo. So I would be remiss if I didn't say something.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Check that out.
Well, guys, that is episode 546 of Nintendo Dads, and we want to thank you for hanging out with us as we went through all the news and what we've been playing in our brand new Mystery Block segment. Huge thanks to our Patreon producers. That's Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, and an anonymous Patreon producer, as well as 100 plus other friends of the show. Thank you guys so much for your support. Our Twitch subscribers, our YouTube followers. If you subscribe or like or share any of our content in any way or interact with it in any way, we are so thankful for you. You are why we do this. And this crazy hobby that started is now nearly approaching 550 episodes very, very soon. And it's all for you. And so thank you so much for all that you do for the show. You can head over to our website. That's nintendodads.org. You can find our list of our favorite podcasts, including our family of podcasts like Retro Logic and Star Wars Dads, as well as our YouTube videos, tweets, social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages, and our merch page. And speaking of merch, you can head over to our sponsor. That's manscaped.com, and you can get 15% off your order by using the code NINDADS. That's NINDADS. It's Treat Yourself Thursday. Go over to manscaped.com and treat yourself by using the code NINDADS. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music we use throughout the show. And reminder, wherever you catch us in your podcatcher of choice, the audio version of the show, please leave us a review, a thumbs up, some comments, 5 stars. Whatever you can do, it helps push us up the charts. It helps people find the show, and it helps people see us, unlike John Cena, who can't be seen. I don't know if you know this, but John Cena was a guest on our show tonight. Did you see him? Nope, because he's John Cena. Anyway, so for me, for Justin, for Tim, for Jesse, and John Cena, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening into Nintendo Dads.
We sound like the goddamn Nintendo Dads all of